Australia is about to undergo the biggest disruption in our history. Our entire electricity market will be completely disrupted, and it's going to be by you, by individual households. And this disruption won't just happen here in Australia. It will happen in the United States, although you guys are going to take longer. It will happen all over the world. I'll explain why Tony Seba predicted this and why this makes sense on an economic basis at the end of the video. If you haven't already bought a home battery, wow. I mean, it's going to be the perfect time to get one. Few reasons for this. One, the cost of batteries has come down. So I'm installing a battery here myself. Well, not myself, actually Resync Solar are installing the battery. And I'm doing it partly because I do get a grant, a small grant, a couple of $1,000s from the New South Wales state government. However, I mean, this is all about to change because federal Labor have unveiled a $2.3 billion plan to massively drop the cost of home batteries. And let's be straight, guys. There's 4 million households here in Australia that have solar. If anyone has solar, and they should really probably consider getting a home battery now, especially seeing as the price is so good right now. And you can get this, well, obviously this new incentive. Plus, I mean, linking it up with your existing solar is a no-brainer, especially if you want to charge your EV at home. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Renew Economy has just reported that federal Labor has unveiled a $2.3 billion plan to make batteries about 30% cheaper. That's $4,000 per battery. I mean, that's an amazing, you could get a battery. I mean, the average household, you might just want to install a 10 or 15 kilowatt hour battery. You might end up paying only $10,000 for that. That's an amazing deal. And you're going to definitely save money over the long run. The Cheaper Home Batteries program was announced by the Albanese government on Saturday, as in yesterday, capping off a week of speculation over what has become one of the most hotly anticipated policies in years, says Renew Economy. The battery discount scheme kicks off on July the 1st. If federal Labor is re-elected, and that's in May, the election coming up, please vote for Labor. Guys, I've never ever asked anyone before in my life ever to vote for Labor. I don't think I've ever voted for Labor, but you've got no choice. They're the only logical, sane political party here in Australia right now. People say on the channel, don't talk about politics. Well, too bad. Come on. This is a very serious issue here in Australia because if the Liberal government gets in, they're going to completely destroy our electricity network. They're going to basically put us back into the dark ages. And honestly, I mean, there's no option. You have no choice. I understand that Labor does things that I don't like, and I'm sure they do things that almost all of you who are from Australia don't like as well. But really, it's the better of two evils, if you want to put it that way. It's definitely the better choice. So assuming Labor gets back in, and I think they will, but make sure you vote for them to make that happen, then households could buy a typical battery, say an 11.5 kilowatt hour battery with a 30% discount on current installed costs, a saving of $4,000, plus add to that the incentives here in New South Wales, an additional approximately $2,000, meaning you get a battery for about half the price, 50% discount for people in New South Wales. Other states around Australia should follow New South Wales because it's an absolute no-brainer. It means if people install these home batteries, it means these old coal power plants, which are losing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, in fact, billions of dollars, they can turn them off. We don't need them anymore. This is the solution. It's a brilliant solution. The discount would be applied on the installation of virtual power plant ready battery systems alongside new or existing rooftop solar until 2030. So over that upcoming 5-year period. Small businesses and community facilities would also be able to access the subsidy with support for batteries sized between 50 to 100 kilowatt hours. The government says the $2.3 billion program is costed into the 2025-26 federal budget and would be delivered through the existing small-scale renewable energy scheme, the same rooftop solar subsidy program that has helped Australia to lead the world in household solar uptake. Renew Economy says this, as it does for solar, the size of the battery discount on offer through the scheme will reduce over time in line with expected battery costs. The expansion of the subsidies to take in home batteries has long been on the wish list of renewable and consumer energy lobby groups who argue that using an existing scheme and one that is well understood by the industry will cause the least disruption in the market. And it's true. Think about it. If we install home batteries all across Australia at people's houses, we don't need to change the grid. The grid doesn't need to be adjusted, changed. We don't have to put any new transmission lines in. That costs billions of dollars doing all those upgrades that they're doing. It means we can use the existing grid. And it's just such a good solution because so many people with solar and it's being wasted. It's being curtailed. I mean, what's happening during the middle of the day? We're losing billions of dollars every year in Australia because of all this solar being wasted. This will allow us to save that solar and use it in the peak period, in the evenings. You guys who buy these battery packs, you can jump onto basically join a virtual power plant, or you can join Amber Energy, and then you can save yourself huge amounts of money. Honestly, I think probably at least 1 million people are going to buy a battery over the next 12 to 24 months in Australia, which is a huge percentage of the population because it's an absolute no-brainer. And if they don't install one, then they're just they're rich people who think they don't need to save money, I guess. For consumers, the proposed battery rebate holds significant potential to ease cost of living pressures by maximizing rooftop solar self-consumption and minimizing exposure to volatile grid electricity prices. Now think about it this way. If you end up getting yourself, you probably get a battery and solar system together for a really good deal. And over the life of having that battery pack and the solar and your solar system, I think you can say from the numbers I've done, I've just put it in a spreadsheet and I've estimated that I'll be able to save about $130,000, that's Australian dollars, over the life of those batteries and that solar system, which I estimate to be at about 25 years based on the warranties provided by these companies. So, if you don't want to save $130,000, sit on your butt, don't do anything, just ignore all this news. If you do, go out and do it and tell someone else. Tell one of your friends, your family, your brother, your mother, whoever it is. You might as well save some money and help solve Australia's energy needs as well. Help us to shut down these coal power plants. This is what that will do. According to Energy Department analysis, a household with existing rooftop solar could cut a further $1,100 from its annual power bill by adding a battery, while a home adding solar and a battery in one go could save around $3,000, up to 90% of a typical family electricity bill. Here's the thing though, if you're powering your electric car, well, the savings are way more than that, right? You can actually power your car probably pretty much any time of the day. Keep in mind, vehicle to grid could be coming, that's coming soon as well. Many state and territory governments have introduced their own version of a home battery rebate or incentive, but still uptake has remained relatively slow. Currently, around 1 in 40 households has a home battery compared to 1 in 3 with rooftop solar. That said, in 2024, a record number of home batteries were installed around Australia. Now, increasing the number of batteries installed in homes around the country will deliver huge benefits to the grid by soaking up that excess solar, meaning we can use it in that peak period from 6 to 10 p.m. in the evenings. And that's when often peaker plants jump in and your electricity costs skyrocket. Often, very, very commonly, they're quite expensive during that period of time. The smoothing out of rooftop solar on the grid would reduce the need, says Renew Economy, to upgrade network infrastructure, and it would put downward pressure on network costs, which make up a large part of the retail energy bill that is paid by consumers. The sun doesn't always shine, but households and businesses having batteries means we can keep solar energy on tap and keep energy bills down consistently, said Federal Energy Minister Chris Bowen. And you know what? He's right. Chris Bowen is 100% right. And I feel weird I'm not criticizing politicians because that's the thing people do here in Australia, but you can't really criticize them because this is absolutely the right way to go. Labor's number one priority is delivering cost of living relief out of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. That's why we want to make sure Australians have access to cheaper, cleaner energy. This is good for power bills and it's good for the environment. I should point out, guys, that apparently the coalition thinks this is also a good idea, even though they plan on building billions and billions of dollars worth of nuclear power facilities across Australia over the next 10 or 20 years, which would be an incredibly good way to bankrupt the country. But It looks like the coalition are saying, yep, this is a good idea, and they will bring out their own version of subsidies for batteries. Now, we have no idea if that will really happen or what those subsidies will be, but they say they're going to do it. The Australian Greens unveiled their own home battery policy last month, promising households access to grants of up to $5,000 or 50% of the total cost and low-interest loans of up to $10,000, making a major dent in the average cost of installing behind-the-meter storage of between $9,000 and $17,000. Have to say, I personally think the Greens are a bit crazy, a bit wacky, but I totally agree with this 50% of the total cost discount on batteries or $5,000, which is a bit more than what the Labor government are offering. I think that's a great choice because the alternative is what? The government pays for it themselves. The government can either pay 50% of the cost of a battery or they can pay 100%. I mean, in many cases, the government is paying for these batteries themselves. And yes, it's not really accurate, I guess, because they might pay 100% of the upfront cost, then they'll charge you to use that electricity and make money off you in the future. But still, I still think democratizing energy, as Tony Seba would say, is a brilliant way to go about it. I've said this now for years, guys. If you've been following the channel now for nearly 4 years, well, actually, as of this month, the channel is now 4 years old. And I've been talking about this for many years, that energy would be democratized around the world. And the reason for that was not nuclear, it wasn't wind, it wasn't anything else. It was solar and batteries. Now, the smart people, the smart money is going into solar and batteries. And this is the future of the planet. 90% of the planet lives on the Sunbelt. And what we're seeing here happening in Australia, this is just the beginning. I think fast forward 10, 15, 20 years, most households, as in a house, not an apartment, most households will have solar and batteries, and people will be paying basically nothing for electricity. And we'll think back to the times when we used to pay all this money for electricity and think, not just for electricity, but also for gasoline, for petrol, for diesel. And we'll think, how stupid were we back then? But the truth is, we needed the price of these things to come down. We needed the technology to improve, and it has. Lithium iron phosphate batteries, production has come down in prices. We've seen doubling, and then the price has come down enormously by 93% over the past 10 years. So it's this technological revolution that has actually been the solution. And that's a lot of what Tony Seba says in his new book as well, which I'll talk about on the channel very soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Bye-bye.